Welcome back to Fire Emblem Echoes. So, today... Well, looking at the map, there's 3 more places for Alm to go, so what if we just tackled that now?
Heavens! What is that infernal noise?
It sounds like... Earthquake! Everyone, take cover!
Alright, so, fight at the Dragon's Maw. So, if you come this far on the map, you're just gonna get ambushed by Necro Dragons, which, at this point in the game, shouldn't be lethal, but, sure to take you by surprise.
Still unpleasant.
It's okay for grinding. Not, like, amazing. Necro Dragons, again, aren't as scary anymore. You should be better off, taking them on. But it's probably more interesting than just going to a dungeon. So, fun fact about the Dragon's Maw. So, after we're done with this fight, this earthquake will cause the road ahead of us to be blocked. However, after this battle, you can return to the previous village. However, if you move around the map, the dragons will respawn. So, there will always just be a dragon on this map until further notice. However, in original Gaiden, both the path forwards and backwards disappeared if you came this far. So until you got to a certain point as Celica, Alm was just stuck fighting zombie dragons. So, the choice is yours. I feel like it's more interesting if Alm goes into this area and then is just kind of trapped for a bit. The Deliverance just has to spend days fighting zombie dragons nonstop. In terms of actual gameplay, that's kind of annoying, though. So I can see why, if you're playing original Gaiden for some reason, you might want to just, like, not move forward. Just stay in town until Celica does her thing. God damn it, Delphia.
This is just reminding me of, I think it's the second season of 24, where a character just spends a good chunk of the season being harassed by mountain lions.
That is just Alm's role in the story at this point, be harassed by mountain lions, except replace mountain lions with dragons.
Like, they had the actress on contract, but they literally could not think of a thing to do with her, so it's alright, mountain lions.
But yeah, overall, it probably was the better idea to make it so that, in this version, you can just walk out if you want to. They still prevent you from moving on, which is, like, the main point of this blockade. But also, if you aren't reading the walkthrough or don't know that this is going to happen ahead of time, you're not just doomed to do a fight anytime Celica moves.
Can you imagine if you're trying to do, like, as much of one route before doing the other?
Oh god, if you cover Alm's route first, oh, that would just be miserable.
See now who you trifle with?
You hear me, dragons?
I know there are more of you out there. Alright, and that's that. So let's just, save Alm being stuck in the Dragon's Maw. And now there's just a big ol' X on the map. Can't go this way. So yeah, just wanted to show off that you can go back if you want to, but I'm going to pretend that the Deliverance are fighting for their lives now. Oh no, how unfortunate. So anyway, let's do the real battle of this episode, now that Alm is stuck. Alright, so there's no cutscene leading up to this one. However, let's take a look at the map. Because this map is a bastard. We start with Witch Brigade, many of which are in the woods. And then we have this over here. We've got Fiends, which are new armor-type enemies that are pretty strong. Got more Dread Fighters, and we've got Jamil over here, who has Death, Fortify, and Upheaval. Earth magic that deals damage to all opponents. Range any. Now, that doesn't mean he can attack the entire map. The green space there is his actual range, so it's not just an infinite range on his end. But that's still a lot of range. And yeah, that's just an ability he uses to just say, fuck you, everybody in my range takes damage now.
Explosion! Now!
Now! Alright, so yeah, this is, I'm going to say, probably the first truly difficult chapter or map in the game. We've had some kinda difficult ones in Act 3 and a bit of Act 4. This is where the game just says, alright, good luck. I'm going to try to beat your face in now. This is also the point where, like, I would say between the two sections of this map, which section is probably tougher? I did manage to get this all in one take. But I think I dreaded losing the second round and having to redo this more than the second round.
I'm ready to roll.
Alright, let's have the end of this conversation first.
Hey, Jenny. Oh, hello, Sonia.
Still not comfortable around me?
Not completely, no. I'm sorry.
It's alright. But I wanted to share something with you. I also grew up in a priory, although it was my father who abandoned me.
Is that true?
Yes. And if I met a man who reminded me of him, I'd likely kick his face in. Fortunately, you don't come across those types too often. Anyway, my point is that you don't have to hold back with me. You're free to hate my guts as much as you like. Because I understand.
No, actually, I feel a little more comfortable after hearing what you said.
Oh, that was quick. Well, in that case, I suppose we can be bitter together.
Alright, and now Sonia has just, I guess, adopted Jenny as a younger sister. They're the bad parent duo. Parents who needs them. Mom went out for smokes, Dad went out for smokes. Get out of here. Alright, so here's the unfortunate part where we just have to deal with witches for a bit. Here they go. I mean, good opening move. Also good move, god. So yeah, this is why I dreaded doing this, because I kind of just made it out due to sheer luck.
Oh!
I've said it before, and let's say it again. Paula is not an average Pegasus Knight. She does not take magic hits well at all. And it really is not helping that most of these witches are in the woods. Oh god, that hit rate is terrible.
Leon.
That one, however, is not. Prepare to die.
Leon, what happened? You're supposed to be good at things.
I mean, archers in general in this game have been having a hard time, because Tobin's hit rate isn't great either.
Well, I guess in this game, the further away you are, the lower your hit rate goes, right?
There is also, of course, the support factor as well. Leon is now next to Valbar, so his hit rate's gonna be better. Probably, I don't know support bonuses off the top of my head. Never have, never will.
Who gives a shit about the stats in support bonuses? Could you imagine if there was a Fire Emblem game that reduced the supports to just being stats? That'd be terrible, and I think everyone would hate it.
Yeah, that'd just be the worst.
It wouldn't it suck if that was one of the first 2 Fire Emblem games I ever played?
Dang. R.I.P. And after the game that actually did them well. Who would have thunk? But yeah, no, like... all I need to know is, I am by the person that this character likes, therefore, stats get better. Hit gets better, damage goes up. It was at least a little more doable in the Game Boy Advance games where, like, theoretically speaking, support bonuses are tied to elements, so if you know the element, then you just say, okay, that character is like ice or fire or whatever, so they get these bonuses. That's still too much for me to care about, though. Alright, so, Witch is dead, that's good. Bad news, there is somebody summoning gargoyles, which means I do kinda need to either just sit here turtling for a bit, or we could get started with actually storming the fortress. I will say, this fortress does, you know, it looks like it sucks to be in, but it's very effective. Storming this place is a pain, so gotta kill this initial volley as soon as possible. You can't turtle too much, because otherwise more gargoyles will be there. You've only got a couple of turns till more get summoned. Thankfully, there is a surprisingly good amount of defense in this team that used to just be a party of squishy mages. Wish one of you had crit. Alright, well then. Highly inconvenient.
We're here to block the way! And just mildly inconvenient. Oh god!
We're here to just be the worst. Oh, you actually want to play this chapter? Too bad. There'll be more of us next turn. Alright, so trying to eliminate that guy as soon as possible, because I want as little trouble as possible. Please make my life easier, long-ranged units. This was a really good pickup, by the way. Saurian is a very good weapon, thank you DLC. I'm glad I could, pay money in order to have that weapon.
Imagine you're just hanging out in a room in a fortress and somebody starts throwing lances through the walls.
What? Why is there an arrow in my arm? Oh god, why is there a lance in my chest?
There's just minuscule holes in the wall.
Are we fighting Dio? Is this the world? No, it's just some guy with a mask throwing a spear. Got it from the DLC. Fucking pay-to-win bullshit.
He's vibrating the lance at the exact right frequency to pass through the walls. I read a Flash comic once.
I don't know a lot, but I do know science. I think. Nobody has proven this to be impossible, so I'm just going to go through with it.
Look, no one's proven it to be impossible, and it makes the Flash even cooler as a character, so we're going to keep pretending that it's real. I know what I'll do. I'll summon the skull from the other side of this wall. He'll never see it coming, and then he just panics, starts throwing the lance, and hits the guy who summoned the skull.
Ah! Alright. Oh boy, more gargoyles. So many gargoyles. Oh, and here we go. So, yeah, he even gets to activate, or, like, start the animation on my turn. So, he's gonna use Upheaval at the end, or at the start of this next turn, so here's the part where I deliberated a whole lot. This is gonna be some of the most deliberation in the entire playthrough so far. as I finally actually changed the vantage point of the map to figure out, can I not get absolutely slaughtered by Upheaval? I would like to not have my team just completely wiped of all use by this move. Unfortunately, everybody else is just in the worst spot. The enemies are making it harder for me to kill the enemies. This is some bullshit. So yeah, I don't really like this point of view that much. There's just something unnerving about just seeing a top-down view of this area. So you're not going to see this often, but like, I really need to see the range of Upheaval, and the game doesn't actually show that, which is not helpful in the slightest. Later games do fix that sort of thing. They'll actually better show staff ranges, and you can have that remain on the map.
Yeah, I don't use this viewpoint for this game very much, if at all. But in other isometric view games, this kind of viewpoint is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Tactics Ogre Reborn on and off, and oh good lord. And sometimes I just literally can't understand what the map is doing until I switch that top-down view.
Yeah, thankfully this game is mostly pretty easy to parse. Yeah, it's just very nice being able to see staff ranges and, like, engage. You can just see, you're going to use Fracture on me from here. You are, motherfucker.
Earthquake, now.
What if I said everybody takes damage? Oh boy, do I wish Fortify were a more common spell, but it's not.
If only our only Fortify user wasn't on the other side of the continent right now.
Mm-hmm. If only the other Fortify user wasn't being attacked by zombie dragons constantly.
That is the least useful crit, Kamui.
He's been critting plenty. He can have a little superfluous crit as a treat.
See, that's a useful crit, Kamui. That's less savory. You're undercutting my point.
You are the worst. You are the worst, Armor Man.
Go on, keep shooting, I don't care.
Yeah, it is... It is such a shame that, there is no... Fortify user just at all other than Tatiana. She's the only one. Some spells are just extremely rare. Like, weirdly enough, Rescue. Like, basically no one has Rescue.
You persist in your ignorance of Duma's teachings at your own peril.
It would suck less if Tatiana had a fight like this. Because then it's just like, you can use the tools at your disposal. Rather than just like, here is the Fortify fight where you can't use Fortify. Sorry, losers.
I'm not going to say that Fortify has no use, because I said this is the point where the game becomes a bastard. It's going to keep being a bastard, even after this.
I mean, obviously Fortify has use outside of this map. It's just this map is designed for Fortify and you can't use it.
Mm-hmm. There are designed for Fortify, though. I guess to be fair, Fortify is one of the most broken spells, so like, technically speaking, if you ask, is this map designed for Fortify? Just any time in the Fire Emblem series, you can just say yes. You can just say, yeah. Being able to just say, no, I don't care about the action economy, I would just like everybody healed now, is very powerful. Also, in terms of rare spells, one that more characters have than Fortify, Rescue is one that more than a single person has. However, Shade has it, so that's a DLC character. The other two are Faye and Atlas. The two villagers have the rescue staff, or the rescue spell. So, you're not going to be seeing it from them because they're not mages or clerics. But yeah, like, Rescue is a staff that I really would have liked to have in so many situations in this game, and no, I don't. 9 times out of 10, I don't. Especially in this one. Rescue would have been really nice for this one, like, dang. I could have probably avoided Upheaval if I could just scooch a few people out of the way.
It's a shame that Alm gets so many clerics on his route, because Faye is actually a very good cleric.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, like, technically speaking, Faye can't always come over to this route.
Yeah, but that's a bad idea.
Also, you know what else, is only on Alm's route? The normal warp spell as well. Yeah, no, you can't really do any warping or recovering, tactics on Celica's route. There is rewarp, but like, that's just, I would like to warp my own mage. Want my mage to just warp their own dang, but...
So I just thought about it, like, could you imagine making Atlas a cleric?
I just imagined hell.
Atlas should get a spell that's just punching the enemy in the face if you make him a magic-using character.
Anyway, time for the Hail Mary. Please let this 70% proc. It probably will. But you can never be too sure.
Ready to strike.
Make your peace. Triangle attack.
I have failed. Duma's blessings be upon us.
God still loves me. Oh god, I'm in pain.
You're making my life easy.
Alright, so... Boss is dead. Now we just have to survive one more volley of that dread fighter over there. Well, that could have gone better, but also, it's survivable, as is this. Thankfully, this is really not a strong dread fighter. Because he did manage to have 2 attacks against Katria, who is, you know, pretty fast.
Atlas making up for the whiff compilation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's back.
I mean, he needs skill, so... it's only 1 stat, but it's a useful one. Eventually, Atlas will be able to hit the broadside of a barn. Alright, now here's a near guarantee of a death. I'm mostly fishing for crits, but also, I'm probably not going to miss a 90. And I didn't. I would have been very mad if I had. Would have been survivable, but still wouldn't have been great. Jesus Christ, Celica.
Victories are easy.
Alright, well then, that was a harrowing battle. I think the non-com version of that is like 48 minutes. I narrowed it down to only 25, in part because I triple speeded it at one point. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Echoes. Next time, back to Celica, because Alm's trapped in the dragon pit.